Hey y'all, it's me, Queen J, back with another episode of the Let's Get Uncomfortable podcast with our lovely guest this evening, Liv, train like Liv, okay? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. But before we do, we always start with a bit of mindfulness that's not changing. So, without further ado, it is now time for us to pause, breathe, and relax. It's now time for us to enter a space of grace for ourselves, awareness, love, compassion, whatever good, bubbly feelings that you can come up with for yourself into that space so that you can be willing to learn about how to navigate around healing within this lifetime, explore the new ways of how to maintain your wellness routine, your mindset shifting, and just becoming the best version of yourself so that the worst version of yourself can be loved fully in totality, and try to, like I said, give yourself compassion along the way. Something that's really been prevalent on my heart lately is progress no matter how small. It truly is progress no matter how small it may seem. Doesn't matter if you needed to take a rest, doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you're coming out of a cocoon type thing. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Give yourself grace, love, and compassion, and know that everything will be okay.
Mm. You teach yoga classes?
Huh?
You teach
Do I
yoga?
what?
You teach yoga?
No, not yet. I want
Ooh,
to. Sign me up. Let's go. I'm ready.
oh, what? Oh, that was a
Yeah.
wow.
Really?
That was really good.
I love doing that. I always have to start my day with mindfulness, and I have to start with my affirmations as well, because if I don't, I'm just not myself.
No, no, no,
So
no.
I definitely have to, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Like, I usually just say what's on my heart, and that's really, it's been on my heart, girl. It really has. Especially since coming across, I know a nice little segue, but coming across your app and meeting you, and I have been working out with you
Yeah.
virtually for 4 weeks now. We on week 4. Shout out to week 4, because I first of all, I feel like, for me personally, before I start asking you questions, I feel like the one thing that I've struggled with within my physical journey, like of just wellness for myself, is the consistency. But
Mm.
with your app, I have found that consistency. So I
Mm.
just truly, like, it's insane. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, even like what ended up happening, what made me so sore was like I missed the day and I was like, no, I gotta catch up. I
Mm.
gotta catch up.
Yep.
I don't care how sore I'm gonna be. I gotta catch up. So yeah. But speaking of your app, Embody Fitness, what inspired you to, you know, make
Mm.
it?
Yeah, so I opened a gym in 2021. So
Okay.
it was full time, in person, employees, workers, the
Mm-hmm.
whole bang. Like it was just so cool. But then I was like, I'm tired of being in person. So I launched an app when I had the gym open so I can make it make sense for when I close the gym, right? So,
Oh.
yes, you have to set yourself up for what you want to do later when you're
Oh,
in wellness.
okay. Dropping
You know
gems
what I mean? Like,
already.
have that secondary investment that's going to turn into your primary.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to start from ground nothing and zero. Not saying that I was, because I had a really nice clientele base, but I was like, I know that this is what I want to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how tough it is once the gym life is not something I love anymore. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
training people. That was fun, but now
Yeah.
it's on to another chapter. So I met some app developers in New York, and they put together my app. And it didn't even take that long because they're fitness based developers.
Wow.
So they put it together,
Mm-hmm.
launched. There's like so many people in the app. I'm not even gonna drop numbers because it's just crazy. Like I love training virtually. It's fun. I don't have to go anywhere. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I know.
and then on top of that, like the influencer life is fun. Like it's just cool to just be so digital because that's where the world is going. Really.
Yeah, yeah. It
Hmm.
really is. I think that that's incredible to even like say like you know how smart you got to be thinking that far ahead where it's like okay, I know I have this brick and mortar. I know I have this like in person and we're doing this right now. But
Yep.
I see something different for me. Like and I'm going to make that happen. Like that's
Absolutely.
incredible right there.
Hmm.
So, how long have you had the app officially?
It's been officially 2.5. I would say 2.5, 3 years now. Yep.
Wow. Okay. And the
I,
transition was just was it seamless? Did it take you some getting used to when you film and everything, or did it just kind of just go hand in hand?
it definitely took some time to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
All the functionalities, and now they've even added. I can create challenges in there where people can compete with each other on there, which is fun.
Wow.
I
Oh well,
tried.
we gonna be challenging somebody next. I'm ready.
Yes, yes. I launched like a draft of it just so I could see how it works. So I'll keep
Mm-hmm.
a loop on that too.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
but yeah, wait, your question again. What was it again? Um,
When you're talking about it, you're answering it. It
oh,
was there any
yeah,
difficulty in doing the transition? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And I'll say difficulty as in when you're with something for so long, it becomes your identity. Um,
Ooh.
Transitioning into the app has been very, very weird. Like, I
Hmm.
miss going to in person sometimes, but then I don't.
Ah, I
Like,
see. I see.
it's a weird thing. It's like I had a relationship with that place every day
Mhm.
we're together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
once you kind of break up, and now you got some,
Mm.
and it's like, oh shoot.
Like, what is this? How do I
Yeah, yeah.
It is
So,
so funny cuz I am kind of breaking up with the gym now cuz I like I love like I said I love the app. So, I go to the gym to complete the app and do the workouts and stuff, but I've been trying to find the right gym for me so that I
mhm,
can just do cuz I'll put it like this. When I started my, like, I've always been pretty fit. I've always been very athletic. So I've always been in like track or dance or something, right? Keeping my body like physically active. But in college, that kind of fell off and then it kind of picked back up and it just wasn't like super consistent. Then when I like left college, officially like picked it back up and I started going to the gym, but I wasn't seeing any like real transformation in myself and my diet. I wasn't it just the habits just weren't sticking, you know, and I was like, I need to find something that works. And like I said, your app has
mhm.
changed all of that. I've been eating
Hey,
better. I've been like I said, I felt like I missed a workout. Oh, I'm gonna hit it again. We're gonna put in the work that I want to see, like basically putting in the work so that I can get the change that I want to see.
most
Because
definitely.
that's really what it's all about. So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love your app if I haven't said it already.
The affirmations that I send out sometimes.
I get all of them. All of
Oh,
them.
wait. Okay.
I get every single so y'all, what we talking about right now is she has affirmations on the app that comes out that like just show up as notifications. So like the most recent one was like mind over body, train your mind to be better than your body or something like that. And I was like, okay, well let's get after it. I can't just sit in bed. I'm not going to just rest today.
Okay.
Like
So
some days,
good.
yeah, like some days I'd be like, oh, I could have an extra rest day. And I'm like, girl, you know that's gonna turn into
Get
two.
up.
Then it's gonna turn into three. So go ahead and get up and go do this train like live. Come on. I'll be like, okay, let's go.
That's
I'm very
funny.
gentle with myself now, where before I used to be so mean. I used to be like I used to be so hard on myself. Like if I didn't hit a target like goal weight or something like that. Now I'm
Mhm.
just like, no, I do this for the better of my mental health, to be
Correct.
honest, so that I don't stay stuck where I feel like I need to stay, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. There we go. I like that.
Yes, I absolutely. Like I said, I think fitness has helped me, has gone hand in hand with my healing journey. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if I can speak for everybody, but for me, when I start moving my body, it doesn't allow the emotions to stay stuck in my
Yo.
body.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
just
Yep.
saying, it does not allow that. Do you feel that way too? Like, what has fitness done for you?
Yeah, I was just speaking at the end of the workout I just filmed today. I said,
Mm
get out of your emotions and get into elevation. So
hmm.
like,
Ooh.
yo, it
Go
really,
on. Elaborate.
because that when you just start to listen to your mind and in that moment of just being alone and feeling tired, it's cold outside and blah blah blah. Shut up, come on, let's go. Like I have to
Yeah.
tell myself to shut up. Come on, get up. You don't even have to go to the gym. Just go in your living room. Just go to the living room.
Go somewhere. You better leave. You have to leave the place that you was comfortable in, y'all. Let's get uncomfortable. Y'all hear it? Do you hear it? Are you catching it? I hope you are. But you're absolutely right. Because elevation, we talked about it when we first met. Elevation takes that work. It takes being uncomfortable sometimes. Not even sometimes. I think all the time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time I have to wake up and have some positive thought and then a negative thought, I have to choose
Mm-hmm.
positive. Like I was literally just speaking on that today. You have to choose to have a mindset that you want. Like there's like,
Mm-hmm.
really good at like motivating me, stuff like that. But if people give me motivation, it means nothing if I don't choose to take it. Like
Ooh.
that's another reason why I got out of like that babysitter type of trainer role. Like, oh, I want to raid your kitchen, blah blah blah. I used to be crazy. Like, show up to people's house,
Oh,
take
really?
the fridge, put it in the trash. I used to get so much trash mail. Like, oh my gosh, why don't you give that food to the homeless? Why would I give
Oh,
chemicals to a homeless person? Right?
oh my gosh. You were reminding me of what like a former friend did for me when I was eating very unhealthy, and I can admit that now, but at the time like that was what I was comfortable with. That was what I grew up with. So that food was like, okay, this is processed food. I'm just going to eat my feelings. That was literally, I'm being real with y'all.
Yep.
When I was struggling, I would go to the zebra cakes, little
Mm,
Debbie's. Like I had a list, and I was eating my emotions. And I thought that that was okay because I was raised to believe that your emotions make you weak, but they actually do not. But at that time, I was leaning on that. That was my comfort food, but that's what it is there for. It is for comfort, but I think you can do it in moderation. But if you
mm,
find yourself stuck there and you're like, oh, this is what I'm first gravitating towards, and I'm just gonna get 20 boxes and we just gonna chill and just not do nothing,
mm.
yeah, that's you might wanna shift your mindset a little bit and choose something a little more healthy. I don't know, move your body a little bit. Just get out of your head.
Yeah, yeah. And it takes practice. Like
It
people
does. It does. It really does.
Live, I can't just cut this off overnight. If you choose to grab,
Mm-hmm.
cut it off, it will happen overnight. It
Do
will.
you so you gradually did it with your clientele at
So
that time?
I'm gonna start with myself. So I
Yeah,
started
yeah,
healthier later in high school. So like
yeah.
sophomore going into junior year. It
Okay.
was and I had this stupid McChicken and my head was pounding for hours. I was like, okay,
Oof.
this more because I was running track. Like once you
Yeah.
get your body moving, foods just don't fly anymore. It's like God and the devil; they can't exist together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it got to that point where I started doing more foods my mom would cook at home, and I would pack my lunch and I would take it to school. With
Mm.
more energy and cognitive capacity to do my homework. So, I'm
Mm.
like, hey, cool, this
Okay,
works.
you started seeing the change that fast. Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
let's real quick before you keep going. I want
Mhm.
to talk about how every single person in track always had that like, oh, let's go get Donatos. Let's just
Oh,
go get let's just go get Wendy's. Like, what is wrong with us? Why did we all think like that? Let's just go eat pasta for an hour. We'll be
hey,
fine.
we can train for hours to eat like this. Oh no. Oh my goodness.
I think there needs to be a study on the track and field to
I agree.
process food pipeline. Cause what?
It was just ridiculous. Like,
uh,
going to McDonald's after a track.
literally.
Yeah,
But what is but our coaches are constantly telling us to fuel our bodies, but they're not saying what to fuel your body with.
correct.
They're
Exactly.
only saying fuel your body, but what am I fueling it with? Chicken or this McChicken from from Wendy's, or you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I fueling it with? You just telling me to go get something. Okay, I'm gonna go get Wendy's. You
Mm,
did today. You
yeah.
wasn't supposed to do that. Oh well, you didn't tell me I couldn't get a biggie bag. You didn't tell me
That's really
for
like
$5 at the time. You didn't tell me that. But
someone.
it's so what's so funny is I vaguely, as I'm talking about it, as I'm yapping right now about it, I'm remembering one of my coaches being like, y'all cannot eat Taco Bell before practice. Y'all cannot, this is not, it doesn't, your body's not going to thank you. You're going to have a terrible workout if you eating Taco Bell at lunch. Y'all
For
need to
sure.
pack y'all lunches or something. Do something. I know y'all in high school, but my goodness.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
learn like home. My mom started cooking out of a cookbook, and she would
Mm.
different spinaches and different salads and stuff like that. At first, I hated it, but then I was like, okay, wow, this is like really helpful. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
at that time, you're such a sponge, and you can absorb those things and like start to
Yeah.
process how you want to process it. So, with clientele, they would ask me for meal plans left and right. At first, I would give them to them. I'm like, hold on a second. First of all, you don't even use the meal plan. Second of all, what is the meal plan going to do when your discipline's not even in order?
Talk about
Like,
it.
like we have to really sit back and think, do you need somebody to tell you what to do, or do you need
Mm-hmm.
to do and put yourself in your place first and
Mm.
coach? Because the coach is not there to fix you. Like,
Right.
simply here to guide you, And
Right. Exactly.
once you know in your mind that you want it, then I can help.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can
If
work.
you right, if you don't know that in your mind yet, then you not coachable. I can't
No,
anything that I'm telling to you, it's not gonna stick. It's like
correct.
oil and water. That's not they can't it's gonna bounce right off of you and come back to me, and I'm gonna be better because I'm following it, but you not.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So let's make this.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
see that. It goes hand in hand.
For sure.
Cause I know for me, like this past couple of I'm gonna say what 27 now. So I'm gonna say the past 2 going on 3 years, I have had to completely reshape my relationship with food.
Hmm.
Um, because like I said, when you're emotionally eating, you're binge eating. You don't even realize that you binge eating, but then when you kind of reflect on it, you're like, man, I feel shame after doing that, or you know what I mean? Like it's hard to break out of that in that moment because you're like, okay, well, I just punished myself for this, right? And then you get out of that punishment and you're like, okay, well, I'll go train and then I can just eat however I want. But when that's when it's imbalance. You see what I'm saying? Like that's when it's like this, and then when you finally realize, like little by little, you go like this, and you're like, oh, it's even. Like I can, in moderation, you can, but yeah, it's definitely hard. I'll say it's still a struggle for me on some days because when I get emotional or when I have a hard feeling come up, it's very easy to go on that DoorDash app. But
Mm.
I have now trained myself to, if I want to go on DoorDash, because Corito is
Oh yeah,
actually open. Yes, I like them. I
yeah.
never they're good. I've never had them before and they're really good. But now that I see like, oh, that's an alternative to getting something at 2 o'clock in the morning. I could get that or the ingredients for that and make that at home. Like I love cooking.
Correct.
That's
Yeah,
where everything started to change for me when I started cooking more. So yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
So how do you like so you said you ran track. What events did you run when you did track?
I ran the 4x1, the 4x2, open one, open two. Yeah.
Mm,
Hmm. Yeah,
that
man.
was pretty much everything I did except for adding 200 hurdles. I
Ooh.
did.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't know. I Me and hurdles got a love-hate relationship. More hate than love, but
Yeah, that's
Cause I
annoying.
was always injured. I was always falling. Like couldn't
Yeah,
I did hurdles from middle school and into high school, but yeah, nah.
noted.
I would never I liked hurdles because it pushed me, but I also did not like them at the same time. I think it's
Hmm.
because it made me uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable now. So would you say like oh, I was gonna ask you something about balancing out like your mindset with the physical activity, but I forgot how to phrase the question.
Ooh,
Ugh.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Those words together. So basically, like, how do I balance, um,
Mhm.
like being a regular human than being a gym human?
Yes, pretty much. Yes, exactly that. Gym
Right.
human versus regular human. Cuz
Cool. Yeah. Guys, guys. So my moderation looks different now. I go for like more organic snacks and things that
mm.
like boom chicken pop is my favorite. Um,
Me
I
too.
love like snack on carrots or anything like crunchy because it reminds me of chips. And
Mm.
gotten into the habit now of like if I go like yesterday I was at Crunch, I worked out, and then
Mhm.
I had the urge to eat popcorn. I was like, all right, I already have popcorn at home. I was craving the sugar. So I really pieced
Mm.
my brain in the store. I'm like, let me just grab a tuna salad so I'm not just in the car. Because by the time
Ah.
the freaking bag is gone. You know what I mean?
You Let me
So
Okay.
it's
Whew.
that daily fight of like the gym mind doesn't really ever leave you alone because
Mm.
you want, you know, the mindset you want, you know how tired you may get if you decide to eat this sugary snack that's going to spike you up and then bring you right back down. So like when you know the consequences or the after effect of what may happen, you kind of turn
Yeah.
into this like I wouldn't even say gym rat, but mindful eater, like a mindful
Yes. Oh,
thing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
eating is spiritual. You have to think about what you're about to do before you do it.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some donuts and some cookies and some ice cream in my fridge, but I have not eaten the ice cream. But I have
Okay.
eaten some of the donuts. But
Okay.
it hasn't like okay. Truth time. Like I said, I could binge eat that. I would eat that and it'd be done, and then I'd be like, "Dang, I don't have any more sugar." Right? But I'm
Mm.
eating it in moderation. So it's like, okay, just one, we're good. I was
Okay.
so proud of myself last night because I
Good.
literally only had one donut. I was like, I woke up and said, I have a whole box. Like that, that's sad, but
That's
progress is progress.
have like vegan or gluten free donuts. Those are really good.
No, you see my face? I didn't even know those existed.
Good because you'll feel a little more like um they use different flours like almond flours and coconut flours and stuff like
I
that.
could do, this is the problem. The
Mm-hmm.
problem with my diet is I can eat healthy so long as I cook everything fresh because I have a severe tree nut allergy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my diet is completely different from somebody else's because I can't have almonds, cashews, walnuts, pecans, pistachios,
I'm gonna send.
and you gonna send me some stuff?
I'm gonna send you
All
some
right.
stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I can't have none of that. So like every like protein bars, I love protein bars. Cannot find one that ain't made with almonds or cashews or something that I like. I work at Target, so I be looking at they protein bars all the time. I'm like, I can't eat that. Okay,
Mm,
I need to make my own or
yep,
something.
that order them.
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
Mm, have I asked it? What'd you say?
Have Do you use Chat GPT ever?
Yeah.
I ask it whatever. So like you should be like, give me a list of tree or what is it? Nut allergy friendly donut what is it called? Brands, and they'll give you like a whole list.
Mm. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And
Well, we
there's
about to start doing that. That's on the list.
I,
Okay.
yeah, I'm like,
Really? It's a lot?
There, so if you go on Amazon, there's like things like they'll give you like different packages that are
Mm-hmm.
friendly and people that deal with gluten allergies and stuff like that. There's something for everybody nowadays. I swear. Like,
Wow. That you don't know how happy. Like I know I didn't get excited. Trust me, I'm like a light bulb just went off in my head. That's what I'm doing after we get off. Cause I like the ability that, like you mentioned, you said you go for carrots because it reminds you of chips.
mhm.
So do you not eat chips at all? Do you not eat popcorn at all?
So I
Go
eat
ahead.
chicken pop. Let's see. Do I have? I don't have any. So I used to love cinnamon twists at Taco Bell, right? So
Uh-huh.
I found one by this brand called Pipcorn, and
Oh.
they use um non-GMO. It's vegan, gluten free, and let's see what else. Like
I'm trying to
very
look like
say,
I said I
but
was trying to look like where is that at? I need to
guys, if you go to Whole Foods, they have like this entire section of all chips and stuff. I like kettle chips though; those are really good.
Okay. I love kettle chips. I also love plantain chips.
Ooh, I
And
haven't.
you said you haven't had them? Oh, we
No.
got it. Okay, I got you. Don't worry. I got you. You got me on those. I got you on the plantain chips. Those
Yeah,
will change your life. They're so good.
got you.
Um also uh like I find myself like if I'm craving sugar, I'll be like, okay, get a bag of pretzels instead. Like I'll get pretzels or the kettle corn because it still gives me that. But yeah, it do be gone fast. Like, and I'll be like, dang, why did I eat that so fast? I think it's
Look at
something about hmm.
the reason why people binge is because they're dehydrated.
No,
Yes.
you
Yep.
hold on. I got water right here. You talking about you telling? Hold on. Okay, so that's so crazy because when I was in college, I was taking like an anatomy course, and they always said that the feeling that we get when we're hungry is actually the same thing that we get like when we're thirsty. So if we're like hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning, we're not
Mm.
actually hungry, we're thirsty.
Depending on situations. So, like for example,
Wow.
crazy gym session, and I just burned crazy calories. Like, of course, I
Yeah.
could be. But if I know in the back of my mind that I only had 20 ounces of water today, where were my other 60? You know what I mean? Like, let's see how
Oh.
when we down those few bottles of water. Like when you go to the restaurant, it's really good to drink water before you eat your food or even before you order so you can see how hungry you really are or are not.
Mm. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep that in mind too. See, you about to save me money too. Like we she said I'm saving your pockets, I'm saving your health. Come on now.
Mhm.
Wow. I've
Yeah, man.
always wondered like like I've known like I I've say the only like fast food like I really will cut out like at Wendy's is definitely got a special place in my heart, but I've definitely switched from like the burgers to the wraps or like the chicken and stuff instead cuz I don't know, after a while like I just don't like being overly full and
Yeah,
like feeling like I'm in a food coma. So
correct.
that's just not a fun feeling, but
Not at all.
yeah, food the relationship with food is definitely it plays a significant part in your gym activity for sure because I don't remember the statistic, but I know it's a lot of it more so has to do with what's in your kitchen than it does with the workouts that you're doing for real.
Oh, you already know the 80. I know people say 80-20, but I'm like, this is 90-10, dude. Like,
90-10. Whew.
oh yeah. Like it's so much diet. Like I even know some yogis that stretch and
Mhm.
this breathing work and they eat right and their bodies and they're
Mhm.
crazy, right? But they also are very mindful of what they eat,
Yeah.
how their posture is when they sit up straight, and how
Yeah.
they really are focusing on their breathing and not just for a little bit of time a day. They need to focus
That's
on it.
do you
So
focus on your breathing as well?
at night now I do. Like that's been my
Mhm.
new before I go to sleep. But what was really helpful when I would focus on it throughout the day, and that's something I
Mhm.
myself and other people watching to just take that time to allow yourself to just relax your shoulders and breathe. You know.
I feel like I talk about this a lot because I have a good friend who has a breathwork studio in Kentucky actually. And
Ooh.
we were talking about like the power of within us and like understanding that that's our life force.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't tap into it, we're just wasting it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times I find myself like the other night I had a stressful night and it could have gone entirely left. But in the middle of the chaos, I was like, nah, I need to breathe. I need to
Ooh.
breathe. And
Ooh.
everybody else was like, what? I was like, I hold on, I need to find my
Absolutely.
center because right now it's about to go down. And
Yeah.
I remember like I still hadn't gotten that chance to breathe. So I came back to the situation and it was a completely different situation at this point. But because I still hadn't had that time to breathe, I shut down. And
Mm.
everybody was asking me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes. I just realized like I still haven't had a moment to rest."
Yo.
And
Okay.
then a friend of mine was like, "Go in the back, go do what you need to do." So I just sat there and I was like, "Okay." I let my shoulders relax. I kind of just let the breath go all through my body. And then
Yeah.
when I came out, I was like, "You're frustrated because you didn't get a nap after you had your crazy gym session.
Ooh.
You're frustrated because you're hungry and you did not get it. You're a baby right now. You did not get your rest." You, like I literally was, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm a big baby right now and I'm mad. Like I want to go home. And I was like, you know what? I will go home. I will go home eventually, but we got to do adult things.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I have to talk to my inner child and I'll be like, girl, I hear you. But
Yeah.
the real world is out here. We can't just go to sleep in the locker room. We gotta do some things, you know? So I realized that and I was like, wow. And I started like laughing when I got home because immediately when I got home, I said, bubble bath,
Mm.
Epsom salt, candle, movie,
Right.
go to
Yeah.
sleep.
That's
And
it.
I did that and I was like, I am such a big child. Like, that's crazy. Cause I didn't even like really?
Oh
It was
God.
that simple.
I
That's all I
know.
need.
Yep. That's
But that's how some situations call for it. They don't call for you to get in an uproar and just react. Like it
I.
calls for you to just respond either to
Mm,
yourself or to the situation. But when you're responding, I really have been learning like this entire year that when you're responding, you're coming from a place of love, compassion, but they're all gentle emotions. None
yeah.
of them are like reactionary emotions where like, okay, yeah, I'm in the moment. Let's go. Like you'll notice there's that softness there, you know?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, yeah. Like
I.
I've tried to be angry and be soft. It don't work. It don't work. I be like, dang, I can't be frustrated right now. Okay. All
Right.
right.
Oh, that's real. It's also like just communicating even when you're not feeling the best, like feeling
Yeah.
that even feels soft. Like being able to communicate the and express those emotions so important.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. How would you say God has worked in your wellness routine? How would you say that God plays a role or has played a role?
Mm.
Because you
When
said eating is spiritual, so I'm just
definitely,
curious.
yeah, for sure. So like
Mm-hmm.
as an entrepreneur, because I feel everything is spiritual, everything is godly and spiritual, right? So
Oh yeah, for sure.
in my entrepreneur life, I have to have the foods that give me energy for this life, or else
Mm-hmm.
bed all day. When I stretch to gospel music and I'm able to release, after I release tension, I feel like I'm receiving more energy and more blessings, like with
Mm.
internal joints and
Mm-hmm.
and in my blood. You know, I can just feel the refreshing um, release of whatever my day had for me. I was able to just let it go. You know, and
Wow.
within everything, I even train sometimes with no music, just because I'm just so in tune with what my body's saying and how I can pray in those moments and hear
Mm-hmm.
God give me different ideas. So it's just that openness that I put myself in that receiving space whenever I work out and whenever I'm eating, because you're
Ooh.
your food like at least 40 times. Like it has to be as meditative as that,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I love that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what's interesting? You said that you enter that receiving space.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the space that I constantly describe as
Mm.
entering a space without judgment for yourself,
Yep.
because you're giving yourself permission, compassion, love, all the soft feelings so that you can navigate through life.
Yep.
And you can't receive love if you got all these walls up. You
Mm.
can't receive compassion if you got all these walls up, because I've learned and through therapy and just through just different experiences, I've learned that while I can experience different emotions at the same time, one emotion does weigh out over the other. And
Mm.
usually in the past it would be the angry one, right?
Mm.
But now it's the softer emotion. It's like, okay, that's a secondary emotion. What is the
Yeah,
deeper emotion that we're feeling? You know what I mean?
that's
So I
real.
think that that's beautiful that you just helped me, because I've been trying to figure. I'm like, what is this space called? What is this? What is
Mm.
this space that I have constantly described? And it is a space where you can receive. That is
Absolutely.
beautiful. Wow. So
Yep.
you enter. So you do that like okay, we gotta talk about it because your workouts are intense,
Yeah.
and I want to know, how do you discover what is the right like modality for your workout, like, because I know you probably go hard.
So it depends like on what I want to feel, right? So
Mm,
I like total body movements. I like
I
total body.
see.
Go into, I go into the gym because I like to tackle like a lot of areas, but with intention. Um,
mm,
and I also know what areas I look at in the mirror, what I want to chisel up more too.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. So I do a daily scan of like, okay, which areas do I want to target? But at the same time,
mm-hmm,
long as I'm getting in movement, I am fine. Like I worked out today at noon. I was like,
mm-hmm.
all right, day's done. Like I
What'd you
felt good. Like I
And
was
that's,
cool.
oh my God, that is so crazy, because that's me. That's literally me.
I
After
just
I
moved
go to
my
the
body. Yeah, I'm good.
after I go to the gym. Okay, so yesterday I did the upper body like mat Pilates, so the 13-minute, right? I did that. Again, it's called the Self Love and Sweat. If y'all get her app, the Self Love and Sweat is the program that I am doing, and I'm on week 4. So I did the upper mat Pilates, right? And then right after the 13 minutes, I was sitting there and I was like, oh, okay, but I got some time before I gotta go to work. So what you want to do? Like, I can't believe it's over. So then I was
Yeah.
like, okay, day 2, quad, dam, and core, right? So I was like, all right, let's do it. Forgot that the first time I did that, I couldn't feel my legs for 2 days. I couldn't. I need to talk with you because
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, that
so
I was like, dang, I gotta like that.
um it was a good workout, but it definitely had me questioning, like, am I strong or am I not? Am I weak? Like, what is going on? The
Mm,
wall sits with a weighted plate and weights by your sides is
I know
intense.
it is
That
nice, but I feel like even yesterday, so I put myself
mm-hmm.
it, and then there was this crunch trainer. She came in out. She was like, "Hey, you want to take my class?" And I was like, "Let me see how I'm feeling." So I took it for a little bit, and then my body was just like, "No, you're depleted. Go home."
You're done. You did too much. It's like,
Yeah,
don't you love those days where your body is just like, girl, what is you? Oh my
yeah,
God. Who told you to superset that
yeah.
and do that on top of it? Girl,
Right.
you was, and I usually like, before using your app, I remember sitting in the gym and I would be done with my, like, I would have completed an entire workout and I'd be
Hmm.
sitting there and I'm like, okay, I feel like I target this? Did I target, like, I'd go through a mental list of like things that I target. I go through, like, I actually write it out on my phone. So I'd be going through it and I'd be talking with other people that were in the gym and I was like, does this seem like I targeted a lot? Like, I would show them and they'd be like, I mean, wait, you gotta look at it. It seems short, but you gotta look at how many sets, how many reps and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't feel I guess I didn't feel like I had actually had an effective workout.
Mm.
So like looking back on it, I don't think I was having like effective workouts where I was like, okay, I put in the work. Like I wasn't feeling that like, okay, my body, yeah, I'm good. Let's
Mm,
go with the rest of our day. It was like, nah, you need to do more.
right.
Something you didn't target that right. So let's do it again. Let's do another
Mm.
set of RDLs. I just did 4. Why am I doing 6? Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, go ahead.
Did you use a lot of machines?
No, I would do free weight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're kind of bringing this question back around. I think a lot of people want to know, like, how do I know I'm targeting the right thing? I feel like
Mm.
tapped in with the right trainer who, like, whenever I program these, I put my
Mhm.
if I'm in it. Like, okay, what have
Mm.
the people at the gym to do? Let me bring this into a session on the app so it can make sense. I've seen this before. I've seen this countless.
Ah. Hi,
You know what I mean?
pumpkin.
But like,
Yeah.
can like put myself in the space of if I'm in front of somebody because I've seen them do this workout. I'm like, all right, I know
Mhm.
it works as long as somebody's watching the video, the looped video of how it looks and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
then it's gonna make sense. But I also do feel like sometimes people don't know the right amount of sets, the amount of reps, and this and that. That's why you get a trainer or an app to help you stay on track, man. I'm telling you, like that's like me wanting to have lessons for something. I'm not just gonna freeball it and figure it out. No, I want somebody to guide me. Like
Yeah.
in the drums, he was like, "All right, I need you to hold it like this and do this." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah, it is very helpful because like I'm not going to say I've never had a trainer before cuz I have, but when I had my first trainer, I think I told you this, like I had it and it gave me the discipline that I needed, like to keep going and the consistency. But I
Mhm.
noticed that like prime example, my back is shredded to the
Ooh.
point where I did not even realize that it was going to be shredded within 3 weeks. Like, but I
Mm.
had that trainer for a year and we were targeting my, my glutes and my lower body. And like, we were just targeting my whole body. But those exercises that were working at the time started to not work anymore. They just weren't as effective. So that's why I was like, I don't know. I have the discipline. I can do of course I could do it. But at the end, I'm like, well, I don't know if I don't know what I just did, but we're gonna go home and ice. We're gonna go home and rest. So like I see what you're saying. Like you gotta make sure that you get the right workouts for your body and your body type and for the goals that you want.
There we
Cause
go.
I never knew that you said something when we first met. You said something about women lower body something blood flow in the legs or something like that.
Like our lower body is strong. Did I say something about that? Like we naturally have like stronger legs.
We naturally have stronger legs, yes, but you
Mm.
also said something about the blood flow of our legs and that's why I wasn't seeing like growth there or something. I don't know, something like
Damn.
ah dang. I remember it, but I don't remember it at the same time. That's
Was it about
crazy.
stretching and allowing blood flow to like help the growth? No.
It might have been because I had the it was right before you gave me the band to do the side squats, the side steps. And I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, and you said women are supposed to, or something about we have more blood flow in our legs, but I told you that I wasn't really feeling it in the areas that I was trying to feel it in and you said it's because you're not warming your legs up enough. Something like that.
Hey, let me sit on it for a minute.
Go ahead, sit on it, cause I'm like, I've noticed it though. I've definitely noticed the difference because you're when I was doing the quad dam and the core, we're warming up our legs twice, and I'm sorry, I'm dead because of that. We're warming up our legs twice, y'all. Where I say it again for the people, we're warming up our legs twice. Okay, just be ready for that.
So funny. I think wrong for that because like I know I would mention a lot to my women clients like if
Mhm.
you're stretching to allow the growth of the muscles um,
Mhm.
and allowing the hip mobility because we definitely use our legs a lot. Women naturally have stronger legs. Like we
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
out. So yeah, that may have been what I was saying. So
Definitely no. And that's why I was like, Okay, I noticed it because I think for me, like when I was warming up before previously, it looked a lot different. It was like I remember from the first week, like,
Mm-hmm.
cause that day that I met you, that was the day that I started. I came back home and I literally that was the day I started. So that
Go.
first week I was in tears. I was like, "Oh my god, my legs! I don't know. I feel like I felt so bloated and just like I just remember feeling like, man, why is this killing me? This should not be killing me. We're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it." And then I was like, okay, no, give myself grace, give myself some compassion, give myself some love. And
Yep.
then when I started like going through the process and like actually going through it, I was like, oh, I'm really like, it is different because I am warming up my legs. I can feel the
Mhm.
blood flow in my thighs. Like, like that's not something that I would normally feel, not because it was the wrong workout, but more so because it just wasn't targeting the right areas,
Yeah.
or I'm not doing it for a long enough time, or I'm not increasing the weight. There's
For
little things that go hand in hand with building the body that you want and the mind that you want. So
sure.
I freaking love the progress that I've been seeing for sure. I can't help it. It's helping with the body dysmorphia. It's definitely helping. And that was one thing I was gonna ask you because, well, okay, do you keep a scale in your house at all?
I do not. Nope.
Me either.
I
Me
didn't even keep
either.
because it's just it becomes an obsessive tool.
That's what
That's
I was gonna say.
yeah.
So
It's
how do
all
you keep track of your progress if you do at all?
the measurements. If I do measurements,
Mm.
the energy levels. I know I keep more track of my vitamins than anything, just so I can like I know my iron's low because I've been really like tired a lot. I've been taking my iron.
Uh
Um,
huh.
my magnesium has also been really low. Like I can tell when my anxiety gets up a little bit higher when I haven't been taking my magnesium. So it's a personal question. Like what what do you even want to see progress in? You know what I mean?
Ah.
Like I
See, I
know
ain't
when
had that many. I have not had. I have not had. I haven't had that many personal trainers like actually say like it's up to you. It's a.
mm,
It's a.
mm,
It's more like
yep.
okay, this is. It's different when you have because I've had a lot of trainers, but I don't think I've had a trainer that was like geared towards like in actual alignment with what I needed, as
Mm,
far as like asking the right questions. Like you just said, it's a personal question, so it's what
ooh,
you see what I'm saying. I
yep.
ain't had that. I never
Yeah.
heard
Oh,
that.
like I had some moms were like, I really my like I had a mom, her goal was to chase her kids on the playground without getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
That, that's a measurement in itself to even walk up some flights of steps at work if you have a job that's like no elevator or something or you want to actually walk
Yeah.
without feeling so tired when you get to the top. That's a measurement right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, feeling yourself not gravitate to your phone before bed. That's progress right there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
See, I knew progress. Like I know I keep saying it because it's a reminder. It's a very gentle reminder. Cause I think so often we, especially in this day and age, we get so caught up in what our progress looks like
Yep.
and like making these large jumps and leaps towards whatever our attainable goal is or whatever the goal is that we have for ourselves, that we forget that we're human. We need
Hmm.
rest. We need those times where we need to reflect. There are times where we can have joy while we're reflecting too, but like what I'm saying is there are times where it's going to call for us to sit back and look at and just be happy over everything that we've gone through, everything that
Yep.
we've overcome, right? But there's
Correct.
also going to be times where we can't do it today. And we
Mm,
we got to be able to recognize those days so that we're not like, okay, I'm punishing myself, or coming from a space of like, mm, what's the opposite of receiving?
like rejecting.
Yes, there you
Mhm.
go. Coming from a space of rejecting the narratives that we are trying to work towards. Like
Yep.
I'm hindering my progress by doing that. So
Hmm.
that's not helpful. That's not helpful.
Hmm.
I like the way you frame a goal though. I really like that cuz I think for me I never saw it as having a goal to all of my goals have been physical, like extremely just external, like, oh, I want a bigger butt or I want stronger legs. But now they've gone into, okay, I want to be able to squat 200 pounds. Cool.
Mm,
Okay. Now I want to be able to do a pull up. I want to be able to at least do 5 pull ups without getting tired. Like,
that's
now these
real.
are more obtainable
Mm,
versus, okay, I just want to see what I like in the mirror. If I
correct.
work on the inside of me, I hope y'all
Mhm.
catch this. If I work on the inside of me, I'm gonna love what's on the outside.
Most def. Yeah.
If I work on the things that I ooh, okay, I'm gonna say that. Just got a whole message, but if I work on being more godlike internally and moving with a God mindset, as far as like just understanding what my limitations are, being obedient, um, and being a servant, and all these other things, and like just working on becoming more godlike, then I don't have to make sure that my external matches that. I don't
Mm,
have to I don't have to constantly like fixate over my external attributes, because it's what's on the inside that matters the most. The way your heart posture is and things like that. I can go on a whole tangent, but I just wanted to say
yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
needed to say
Yeah.
that.
Now I will say too, like our bodies can definitely be resumes of our choices too. Um,
mm,
like how we look. I feel like the feeling is first because I love how
yeah.
fitness is first, but
Mhm.
I like how it makes me look second. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
second priority because it definitely gets me out of those mental ruts. You know what I mean? Of
Oh
like
yeah.
feeling like I'm just so paralyzed. I just really don't want to get out of bed. But once I do, I realize how much more can accomplish since I was able to move my emotions around. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And it's interesting because as I become more holistic and I do the things that I need to take care of my wellness, I can literally, like I said, I can feel the breath going through my body just as much as I can feel the emotions going through my body. Like
mm,
I can feel that. I can feel the mindset shift. Like, let's say I was really upset and I decide, okay, I'm in pain in my lower back. Maybe I should stretch. Maybe today should just be a day where I just pour into myself, show a
yeah,
little bit of love. And then the next thing that comes up is usually, okay, how do I want to show love to myself? Like, do I want to dance in my room, or
mm,
what is that stretch going to look like, right? So that if I
yeah,
do that stretch, as I'm doing that stretch, I am breathing through that emotion so that it moves through my body, and then after I'm done with said stretch session, I'm like, "Oh, that's all I needed. Maybe we
yeah.
need to journal about it." You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was gonna
the
fix.
grounding tools are so powerful, and it
Absolutely.
seems so simple. It
Yeah.
seems so simple. But when you have a mental hurdle, it's not simple. It's hard to get to that. I'm sharing with you guys in that with the warriors, like, it's not easy to get to the point where it becomes so consistent and disciplined in you that it's your first thing that you do. It
Mm,
takes time. It takes
definitely.
time, and I say that all the time. I'm gonna just I can go on about that too. But it takes time. It really, really does. I think like that's the biggest takeaway, is that if anybody is ever considering to start their healing, their wellness, or just overall self improvement and self elevation, you have to understand that the person that you want to become, it's going to take time to become that person.
Absolutely.
It's all going to take work and time and effort,
Hmm.
determination. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think if I have any other questions for you. Mm, no, I don't think I do. I think you've answered everything. Go ahead.
That was very whole. Like this whole session was very eye opening for a lot of people, for myself and you. I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't think that not that I didn't think I had anything else to learn, but it's always interesting when you're like, "Oh, I know that. Well, let me." Oh, and you expand on it. You're like, "Oh my god, it goes deeper than
Mm,
what you thought." It's really
yeah,
cool.
like even your
Um,
when we first started, very very
hmm
helpful, super
I'm
helpful. Oh my
I'm very
goodness.
glad. I'm very
Yeah.
glad. I'll do a
Mhm.
little segue. I guess I should talk about it. So I always get pushed to talk about it, but like I think it's because it's my first one that I'm just like, oh my god. I have a book coming out. It is my memoir.
Let's go.
Yes. It is called The Girl Behind the Glass. And it's honestly, if you like this podcast, I'll just say it like this. If you like this podcast, it's basically that, but in written form, except for it talks a little bit more intricately about how I got to where I am. It
Mm,
talks about my healing journey, my upbringing a little bit, but the big thing that like there's some things like some gems in there that stick with me to this day,
mm,
and like in God's involvement and like intervening where I didn't think he was even intervening and things like that. So, but the biggest takeaway is that like you're not alone in your
mm.
feeling, you're not alone in your journey, and God is always going to be with you along the journey, and he might just send you a couple of strangers along the way. Just saying, because that's what he did for me and continuously does for me. So, yeah, but it's definitely a good one. I talk about, like I said, I talk about my healing journey, but I also combine like my love of poetry and my love of words. So, if you're interested in that, I'll drop the link and everything, and you guys can purchase. But I'm very excited for this next journey, this next
Yeah.
face. There we go.
Mm.
um, I just realized you did you need to introduce yourself? Oh gosh.
Oh, oh, good. No, what's going on, y'all? My name is Liv. My Instagram is Live Off the Grid. Two V's off the grid. And
Yes.
amazing app that she's talking about is called Embody, the fitness app. So if you want to elevate and escalate your fitness goals, or even just get started, because there are beginner programs in there, then let's get it.
Let's get the work in.
Yeah,
Put the
yeah.
work in so you can thrive.
Let's go.
But
So
this
I'm
has been Queen J and Live Off the Grid,
yeah.
okay? With another episode of the Let's Get Uncomfortable podcast. As always, you can find me at on my personal page at underscore officially Queen J. And then you can follow me at Let's Get Uncomfortable Pod on YouTube and Instagram. And you can find episodes on Spotify, Apple, and I already said YouTube and some other places. Wherever else you want to stream your podcast. I love y'all. Thanks for seeing and hearing me. Peace.